Welcome, beautiful souls, to Enchanted Moments podcast. I'm Monica.
I'm Spencer.
And I'd like to talk a little bit today about the heart chakra. All our messages that we're receiving from higher spiritual realms, from our guides, from aliens, from other spiritual beings, it's always about love. It's the hardest thing to do, unconditional love of self and others. I remember growing up, my mother always said, you don't have to like everybody, but you have to love them. And I think that was my first lesson in what unconditional love was, because it isn't based on whether they do something or not do something that makes you feel better. So it's all about non-judgment. It creates everything to do with your daily life, your personal life, your relationships. And it's probably, I would say, our most important chakra, really. Yes, connection to divine, third eye, everything. They're all important, but the heart really is the guide that we need every single day.
It connects them all.
It does. It connects all the top chakras with all the lower chakras. And it's what they call the bridge chakra, so it makes perfect sense. It is right in the center of our chest. It is connected with green and pink. So malachite should always be used with rose quartz when you want to stimulate your heart chakra, or use green aventurine. That can be used by itself, but malachite has a much stronger pull, and it should be tempered with something that's softer, and the rose quartz does that. But wearing any of those stones will support your heart, and it is important that we do exercises and all kinds of things to strengthen our ability to use that heart chakra. It is the element of air, and it regulates our lungs, our heart. So if you are out of balance, it's going to have an impact on your health and immune system with the lungs and the heart. So it's important that we keep our heart chakra balanced, not just because it's great for our relationships. We need to do it for good health reasons too. And it's not romantic love per se. It can be, but it's all about empathy and caring, and compassion. So that's super important. And ways for us to deal with that and exercise that our service for others, definitely. Affirmations that have support for the heart chakra, anything to do with acceptance, forgiveness. So if you need to forgive someone, that's a good exercise for the heart chakra. And accept others' forgiveness of you. That is super important in our list of things that you should do. It's our connection to all our others in our environment. So not just family and friends, partners, love relationships. It's also your community. So having a positive effect in our community definitely builds on our heart chakra's strengths. And then we need to do something about balancing. So it's not important to go all out one direction or another. No. We need to make sure that we're staying balanced. So accepting and giving. Those are two things that we tend to do through the heart chakra. So we either accept love and caring from others, or we give love and caring and compassion, empathy to others. But it's just as important to receive as it is to go out and give it. And sometimes we are unbalanced because we're sort of taught that everything should be give, and we tend to not feel worthy or feel comfortable with accepting others' love and affection. So it's really important that we do that. If you're feeling certain things, you may be out of balance in the heart chakra. So that would be like fear of intimacy, trust. It's really anymore. we are being constantly bombarded with fear messages. So trust is also makes it difficult. If you're lonely or feel isolated, if you have resentment, or you don't have enough empathy, that can mean that your heart chakra is out of balance. So if you start to feel those things, then it's important to give some attention to the heart chakra. And sometimes you can have overactive heart chakras. So your relationships are too attached, maybe codependent. You're sacrificing your own personal well-being and boundaries for others. That's not okay either. No, people pleasing. It's okay to want everyone to be happy on a certain level, but then, you have to make sure that you're not doing it over the boundaries. If you're really in good shape with your heart chakra, then you're going to have a lot more ability to do your 3 higher chakras. You're going to speak your truth, obviously. That's your third eye is going to be more active, and your connection to divine is obviously going to have a stronger feel to it. So getting that heart chakra in order is really important for our emotional development, our spiritual development, not intellectual as much, just working with the heart. And we've talked before about the fact that the heart has nerve bundles so that you can actually think and feel and live your life basically out of that heart center, not necessarily just our heads. Health is hearts and lungs and all those things, and immune system. If we're depressed or lonely or feeling down and not having that acceptance of others' love, then our immune system suffers for that. So that's a good point to keep that chakra in order too, because it keeps you healthy. There's some heart chakra affirmations, and I like that, because when we start to feel like we're not accepting maybe or not giving enough, then doing some affirmations to create that emotional stability will help. So I welcome love into my life, both to give and receive. Nothing wrong with that. My interactions, I am kind and considerate. Joy and gratitude fill me. I am in love with every living thing. And to help with that, go out in nature, be out in the air, not just, looking out the window. It is important to feel that connection to all living things. And most of us do that best by being out in nature, because there's plants and trees and animals and birds and, weather. It's nice to have some weather. We don't tend to get outside enough, but that is an excellent, excellent way to feel that connection, and the gratitude that our practices every day when we say thank you for all the things that we're happy about or grateful for in our life is important as well. A lot of people do it in the morning. I always do it at night. I don't know why, but that's my thing. Besides green aventurine and rose quartz, it's also wonderful to use emerald. You can also use malachite, but emerald is a little more soothing emotionally than malachite is. And rhodochrosite, which heals emotional scars and attracts real love into your life. So that's always a good one. You can wear them as jewelry. You can put them on your chest when you meditate. That's always a plan. High vibrational scents will help stimulate the heart chakra. The highest vibrational scent is rose. You don't like rose. A lot of people don't. They reminds them of old people. So back when we only had certain floral essences in perfumes, our grandmothers smelled like roses or lavender. And sometimes that does not evoke pleasant memories, but it is a great vibration for the heart chakra. Jasmine, lavender, and bergamot. So if you can find a way to incorporate those into your world, that's great. Fresh flowers, roses, lavender growing outside your door is an excellent way too. There's some foods that they suggest. Greens, obviously, spinach, kale, mint, those are lovely. Fruits, kiwi, avocados, and green peppers, any kind of fruit like apples, that's good. Teas, using rose, basil, and hibiscus. That is my favorite, hibiscus. And there is a wonderful tea that is rose and hibiscus that is super nice when you're going to bed. Just so people know. Seeds, chia and pistachios, obviously, those little green things. Okay, the other things that you can do, just practice easily during your day, is to keep in mind that we want to treat everyone with dignity and respect. Sometimes we forget the basics are just as strong as a volunteer work is actually looking at people and accepting them for who they are. You know, it's nice to feel like someone is unconditionally accepting you. That makes everybody feel good. You know, so we try not to be judgmental in any way and just look at everyone as a unique individual. And everyone has something to give. Sometimes we have to dig deeper to find it, but everybody has something to give. Do something in your life that's artistic. So write, if you like to write poetry or write just verse, that's great too. Artwork of some kind. Any kind of creative expression that you want to try is a good way to also encourage the heart chakra to be more balanced and feel expressive, and that's a good thing. Music too is excellent. If you feel like you need to put your vibration in a heart center, classical music is really good for that. In fact, last night I was sitting there and I thought, I don't want to watch TV. I don't want to, so I just turned on WGUC. And as long as they don't switch over to some strange opera, I'm good. But I love opera, but some of the other, they're a little weird.
Usually only on Saturday.
Yeah, it's only on Saturday, you're right. And just try to be as compassionate and empathetic and accepting as we possibly can. Doesn't mean we are not perfect, we are human beings. And even though we were supposed to be the highest life form on this planet, we are not the highest life form in general. So we're going to have things that we have to work on, and we're going to make mistakes, and it's important that as we go through our day and our week, we don't beat ourselves up about the times when we fell short of what our expectations should be. Just forgive yourself and go on. There's just no way we should be beating ourselves up with guilt.
Because that's not love yourself.
It's not, and it's very non-productive. Guilt is a total waste of time, total. Because you can't do anything, really, that's going to damage your journey. You're perfect the way you are, you're here to be exactly as you are, and that's what we do. So, also, work on divine love. And this is Tang. He rarely comes and performs with anyone. Be careful, his claws are really sharp. They need to be trimmed.
Divine love.
Divine love. Okay. The best way to work on our divine love is through meditation. And you can meditate with your cat, or you can meditate alone, or in nature. That's a good way to do it. Sit outside and do a little, it doesn't have to be an hour-long meditation. Just spend 5 to 10 minutes really focusing on how you feel connected, and think of it through the heart center. So not just how you feel standing on the ground or sitting on the ground, or the air blowing on you, whatever it is. Really focus on that heart center and push that connective out into everything, and just feel the trees and the grass and the whatever, the scents, flowers, weeds, you know, I have a lot of those. So, but we want to feel connected to everything. Everything serves a purpose, just like everything we do serves a purpose. we're working on yours. I think just being friendly sometimes is what you do best. And we have to really negate fear. That is undermining everything to do with our love of anything, is this constant reminder that we need to fear something, and we do not. We are perfect the way we are. We are protected. We are safe. There's nothing anyone can do that's going to have an effect on you if you don't allow it. So when we hear things that we don't like, then let's turn them off. If we see things we don't like, let's don't go there. So it's our job to create those boundaries around us so that we don't allow those fearful messages to come in, and we work constantly from the heart, because love is the opposite of fear. Okay.
But we should also still be aware of what's happening.
Oh, well, you have to know what the world is doing. It's not, I'm not saying go live in a cave.
Yeah.
Although, boy, that sounds like a really interesting thing to do.
Sometimes it does.
Yeah, it does. Cave sounds good. But no, the key is to have the awareness, but not the emotion associated with that.
Yes. Yes.
If that makes sense.
Close to me.
We can't turn off everything that's happening,
Mm-hmm.
but we don't have to get sucked into the
Fear.
commentary and the fear and the negativity around it. We don't have to like what's going on, but we have to say to ourselves, okay, I don't have to live that way.
Yeah.
I know what's going on in the world. You can't solve all the world's problems by being angry about it. The only way you can solve it is by throwing love on it and hoping that it changes everybody as well as the people around you. So show some love, compassion, acceptance, treat everyone with dignity and respect. Try to make all your decisions through the heart center and allow the heart to be the higher guide than the intellect. And hopefully we can solve many, many problems by all of us being a lot more unconditionally loving. Any comments? Nope. Thank you all, and we will see you next time.